Hey, what's going on, Shui? How are you? How's your day been?
What's up, Guadalupe? It's been good. I've been at work the whole day. I'm still here working, just getting my work done.
Yeah, and so cool. And I know you just finished your challenge not too long ago, your 28-day challenge, but there was a whole story, a whole process of that. You're a dancer, right?
Yes.
You like to dance. That's one of your passions. That's one of the things that you like to do a lot. You go out. You're like a ballroom dancer, right?
Yeah. So pretty much, I've been a salsa bachata dancer for the past 6 years, and that's been my way to keep active and have a social life, meet people, and just be part of a community. And dancing is a passion of mine. So it's something that makes me happy. So, however, like even though that's something that I incorporated in my life, I still felt that I needed to be a little more physically active. Um, and
Mm-hmm.
so that's one of the reasons why when I ran into your ad, a friend of mine posted it up, and when I listened to what you were saying about wanting to reach out and bring a community together, and in particular Latinos, it uh, it uh, it caught my attention because like I know the importance of being in part of a community. It starts with like church. You could start with church. You could start with like a salsa group. You could start with like a book reading club. And here, this is a little workout club. And so I like that idea that you put out there that you wanted to focus with Latinos. And Latinos, we're hard workers, but we do like to party, and we do like to drink a lot of beer, and a lot of times health and fitness is not so accessible to us, or doesn't come as easy because maybe we don't have time, or we're working too much, or it's just you know or different privileges, depending on who it is, right? Uh, and so I don't know, I attracted to that idea, and that's why I kind of read more about it, and I decided to sign up.
Yeah. I remember when you when you first started, you had just got back from a trip, from a Chicago trip at a salsa, right? And then you told me you work a lot of hours, and it was tough for you to find a certain time. So that's when I started opening up 8 o'clocks, and then I started opening up early morning classes. But then you started coming in. You created the habit of getting up early, right? Because you're not used to getting up early, right? You like sleeping in.
Yeah, no, I do like sleeping in. I'm not a morning person. I am forced to wake up early for some certain jobs, depending on my schedule. Like I work as a freelance assistant editor in different genres of television, like dramas or movies, or television or movies. And so one job I could be working in Santa Monica, one job I could be working in Burbank, or downtown LA, and that cuts my commute.
Mhm.
And yes, I do have the bad habit of snoozing my alarm like three or four, 10 times. I don't know. And so that's something that I've been trying to change. And so that's what was a little hard for me to show up early for your workout sessions. But I've been fixing that, and I've been getting into a better habit, and being motivated that I'm like a group is waiting for me, like a group of guys that we're working out together, having the same goal is there waiting for me, that I'm like, okay, I'm more motivated to like, all right, I gotta get up, I gotta go. So it's working. It's helping me out. It's for me in particular.
Yeah. The good thing is that you're still showing up, and yeah, you are. Yeah, the point is that you still show up. It's either you can get there, but you still show up. That's the most important part, because there's a lot of people that make up a lot of excuses, but you're not one of those. You become dedicated. You're already in the ongoing program. You're starting to see the bigger picture. You're starting to see the 90 days ahead. You're starting to see what's possible for you and what you can accomplish. Even though that you have some self-doubt, but you have me as a coach, that I'm the one here to guide you and show you the way that you can become a better version of like what you told me of what your 18-year-old self, right? That's Mr. I have all the time in the world, Mister. I work out several times a day. Right? You were doing college stuff or high
Yeah.
school stuff. You were doing everything. You were very active. You showed me the picture, and look, you're like, this is what I want to look like. Right? Now I've created the pathway for you. Right?
Yeah, no, it always helps to have somebody somebody there telling you and pushing you, motivating you, because I think a lot of us are very introverted a lot of times, and also a lot of times Latinos are very prideful sometimes, where it's like, no, I could do this myself, and that's something that I actually uh, felt that I can take control over my mind and try to do, which I still think it's possible. However, there's certain circumstances in people's lives that doesn't allow that to become an easy thing to kind of like have that mindset of like, okay, I'm going to overcome this self-doubt and I'm going to do it, sometimes you need somebody to tell you, no, look, it's going to be all right. You are going to do this. You're strong. Like, you can do this. Like, I don't know. There's studies that have been done where kids or even plants or something, like you talk good to a plant and it grows up healthy, or if you talk shit to a plant, it's some sort it dies. I don't know, but like the positive reinformation. The
Mm-hmm.
point is about being the positive affirmation and reinforcing it to somebody so that they can repeat it and they can
Totally.
see it and visualize it, and so yeah, so it's a good thing. It's a good thing to have somebody there, as a coach that you are, to motivate and push us, because by ourselves, it sucks that a lot of us just can't do it by ourselves. And at least working with you or you working with us, it gets us into that mindset, at least to prepare us, at least in this phase. It doesn't have to be forever. Then that's up to us to be like, okay, I got this training, I got this motivation. Now I see what I can do. Now can I do this by myself? I think that's the ultimate goal, to be able to have that lifestyle change.
Yeah, and the good thing is you're investing the time to learn, and you also came in this past weekend, and I just want to say this. This is obviously very important because you're using the coach. You're using when you're the one that doesn't have time editing. I've done editing because I've done YouTube editing for my own little channel back when I was younger and I wanted to start a little comedy, trying to be a funny guy, and then one like 5-minute video took like 3 hours, 4 hours to edit. So I understand how long that takes. So, but what I'm saying is that you still do the work. You still took the time to come over and be like, okay, I need this. I need the guy. So I was like, okay, perfect. I showed you everything from how to use everything. Now you see how everything works, how that tracks your body mass index, how that tracks how you will be able to get to your ultimate self a lot faster, right? So
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, where were you before you started my program, the Mr. Aesthetic Life program?
Well, due to the nature of my job, or how I'm like, it's sporadic at times. There are times where maybe I'm unemployed for like, I don't know, 3 months, 2 months, depending on how fast I look for a job. Or maybe I'm employed for 7 months and I have a heavy workload. So it was just very sporadic. There was like maybe 2 months where I would try to work out, or a month that I would work out like 2 days, 3 days, but I didn't really have a direction or a guide. Like, I didn't know if I was doing things correctly. I didn't know like what type of exercises that I had to do. Like, I was reading online, but there's a lot of information online, and so it gets a little overwhelming. That's the truth. Like you can look by yourself online and find a lot of good stuff, but then you're like, okay, how do I start? Like, because there's different ways of doing things.
Yeah.
What I did learn in my search online is that sometimes you got to cater certain exercises and certain things and certain eating habits, or eating diets, to cater to your own body. And so when we have somebody who, well, dedicates their life and their job to do this, they should probably know a lot about this. And that's another thing. I was like, okay, well, this guy, he looks good, he does the work. This is his job, and he wants to help out. Of course, it's validated. I'm gonna trust this guy. And so that's another thing. We have to give trust Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, I didn't have direction, and so coming to you and asking you questions, having something that I could go like, hey, dude, so what do I need to eat? Like, what type of carbs? Like, so how much am I supposed to eat right now? Like, so what is this intermittent fasting? How does that work? What does it do to my body? And just asking like what the science behind it is, stuff like that, to try to get a better understanding. And yeah, because I don't have a lot of time, like you were saying. Like I did come in for like that hour because I was like, okay, I need to focus just on this, and I want him to explain to me, like, okay, this is what you do in this app, and this is what you do there. So then I had a little better understanding. So now when I move forward, I can like, okay, go back and refresh on what you told me.
Yeah, totally. Everybody's at different habits in their life, and you can be information overload all over the place. You can find everything on the internet, but ultimately you don't have the guidance. You don't have a coach. You don't have somebody who's the expert in that industry to be like, look, cut the windy roads and just take the shortcut. And that's what I've shown all of my clients, and I've shown you too as well. I've shown you the faster route. I told you it doesn't have to take a year, it doesn't have to take 6 months. You could do this in a matter of a few weeks or 3 months. You know what I mean? So awesome. So I wanted to ask, what are the biggest changes that you've noticed in starting the Mr. Aesthetic Life program?
Well, some of the biggest changes that I noticed is that I started being a little more conscious about the food that I'm eating. I started to, even though carbs is still part of the diet, I started eating a little less carbs, or the different type of carbs that are probably not good. I guess like French fries and like the hamburgers, the pizza. I just started like saying no more to that, and more to this, saying no to sweets. And a lot of times in my work, they have like all food for the production, right? And it's easy to like be like, oh, that donut right there, like, and the temptation. But I started being a little more stricter on that. Something that I've implemented is the intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
Where you eat for like the 8-hour timeline and fast for between 14 and 12 hours, which would be the nighttime when you sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I started noticing that well, in the beginning it was challenging, it was hard because I was getting hungry all the time. Then I found ways to like, okay, I should just drink water, like to not feel hungry when I'm hungry, and then to eat when I'm supposed to eat. And I noticed that, I have lost a few pounds. When I first started, I was 157. And that's mostly because coming back from that Chicago trip, like, you can't go to Chicago and not eat deep dish pizza. You can't come back from Chicago and not eat some of those hot dogs, some fucking steak, and like
pizza.
Yeah, man. And also like being like, yeah, I work hard, but I also play hard, and I like to party. I do like to drink. So that's another thing that I've been trying to be more conscious of, is my drinking. So yeah, I just noticed that just by only working out 3 days a week with you, I went down to 152, 153. And recently now I weighed myself and I'm 150. So I lost those 7 pounds. And I know this is a process. Like, I don't like, for my own like sanity or my own train of thought, like, it's a slow process for me because I know it's something that I'm working on towards a long-term goal. And it might be a little slower for me because of everything that I'm doing, which is my work. Like, I started working at 10 a.m. It's already 10 p.m. and I'm still fucking doing some shit just so I can be productive tomorrow. Like, it's just in me, I'm like used to this. I've decided to be a hermit these 2 weeks and not go out and just focus on work because it's something I got to do. So yeah, so it's just, I lost my train of thought.
But the most important thing is that you're still getting results from all this, and
yeah, exactly. So from the 30-day challenge, 28-day challenge, if I've been slowly like losing some pounds and notice some definition in my body, then like if I keep going at this rate or do like more days working out in the next 90 days, like what are going to be my results in 90 days? You know, my goal is to lose like about 15, 20 pounds or like a good body percentage, really body fat percentage. In 90 days, you know, that's going to be significant if I don't stop what I'm doing and if I make my routine better. So I'm just looking forward to keeping at it at this routine and just seeing better results. But it's really up to me though. I have to do it, you know? And there's no excuses.
Of course, no excuses, do the work is what I tell everybody. And yeah, now you're on your point to where you're getting to build that V8 engine, so you just operate more smoothly and burn more fuel, aka burn that more body fat, so you're able just to eat more. You're on that phase right now, and that's good. And I think that's one part of it. Also, you're like I mentioned to you, you're getting to that path of your better version of your 18-year-old self fast. And you know what I'm talking about. Maybe everybody else watching doesn't know what I'm talking about, but that is was that the last time before you became a career man, before you went to work, before you went into like 12 days?
Well, that was my senior year in college. I'm in high school.
Yeah.
I was a cross country runner. I ran track. I did a little bit of baseball, and so I was active. I was constantly active. But then when I joined college, when you're a first generation Latino in college, you got a lot to deal with. You gotta work your part-time gig. You got your full-time classes. You gotta balance your social life. You got to balance the partying, the social life. So it's like it's a lot. It's a lot that comes thrown at you. And a lot of people, they just start their active lives just start slowing down. So then when you come out to the real world, you come out to start working. You start working, and then you have to dedicate a lot of time in working. Yeah, it's a lot of bad habits that I did learn when I was in college, I gotta say. But now it's like, okay, understanding where they came from and understanding where I might head and what direction I might head if I don't do anything about it right now. It's scary because I don't, I want to live a long time. I want to try to extend my life as long as I can, and I want to be old and still be like moving around, like walking, just living my life to the fullest, but being able to move.
Yeah, totally.
It's more of that awareness, more of that long-term goal, which I think are positive reaffirmations and positive goals that make you do this. Because yes, we're all very vain. We all want to look good. We all want to have that six-pack. We all want to have those muscles. We want to look sexy as hell. We want to attract, girls, guys, whatever. And that's a good motivation, but it's not like a life thing. It's like a kind of like a short-term thing. Oh, now have that, but then what? It's like, yeah, I think it's a.
And you're doing this because for yourself. This is like you're changing this for yourself, right? I know and it totally is a great compliment when other people are checking you out, and it's great. But you're doing this for you because you want to have better health, more endurance, more energy throughout the rest of your career life, right?
Yeah, like I'm here till 10, right. And I need to have that energy to just fucking work hard.
Oh, yeah, and I want to ask you, Chewy, Jesus Chewy, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knows you by Chewy. So I want to ask you, what have you tried in the past before you joined us? Have you tried?
Well, I've been more of a solo guy. So I would okay, I'm gonna sign up for the gym now. Like, okay, I have time now. So I'd go, but like I said, I wasn't I didn't have any direction of how to do things, right? My friend let me borrow some workout videos that I would try to do at home, and those, I know that that's a different way, and they can be effective if you actually dedicate yourself. But because of my issue of like not being dedicated enough, my crazy schedule. It just it wasn't working out for me because I was just by myself, and it's easy for you to like be like, oh man, it's 7 a.m. I should wake up to like work out, but 10 more minutes, 10 more minutes of rest, and then you wake up and I'm like, oh fuck, it's time to go to work. So then like you don't do it, you know. So that's one of the reasons why I go back to like, oh, okay, I like this system of being able to be with a bunch of people, with a group of guys, cool guys, where we're all there for the same reason, and we're kind of backing each other up, you know. And that's good, because it's good to be part of a community where you have the same goal and are getting the same passion or getting the same healthy habits, you know.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, like it's not, you know that now, you know that it's not really as motivational to do these workouts or training programs on your own. So with having that group environment, it's just, and everybody's achieving fast results, just so motivational. Even to where the point where you start to slow down when you see somebody else getting results, that always fires me up. And I know that fires everybody else up, as all of my clients as well. And that's what you have. You know, you have this, you have us. Yeah, you are one of those that are getting pretty good results. So what parts of the program do you think that helps you the most?
I like the being able to go in and when you show us the different types of workouts to work out our different muscles. Like you got the back day, and you do certain exercises that are pretty simple, right? Where you actually could do at home, and it works out a certain part of your back muscles, you know. An exercise that I didn't know you could do, that, you know, oh, that's working out your back, or oh, that works out your triceps, you know. Learning the different types of exercises that are simple, right, but effective, you know, if done correctly. And the guidance on like, okay, no, you're doing that wrong. Like lift your legs up a little more. You know, you're making sure your butt's off the ground while you're doing that certain exercise. You know, whoops, sorry, I had an email come by. So I find that that's one of the things that's effective. You know.
Yes. Awesome. So, and what advice would you give yourself if you could go back in time to when you were struggling?
Chewy, stop fucking procrastinating.
Right?
It's
right.
like
Do the work.
You know, it's like it's so easy to procrastinate. It's so easy to get stuck looking at your phone and scrolling to that Facebook, scrolling to that Instagram feed, wasting a lot of time. Like it's such a like epidemic. It's such a addiction, and that's a new addiction that we have in society that just drowns us, and it's bringing us down. And that hour, that 2 hours that you spent, you could have done that workout, you know. Like like, okay, here's another example, something personal in my life. Like I got in trouble like 2 years ago. I got a DUI, right? And part of the program is that you have to attend DUI school, learn about drugs, alcohol, how alcohol affects your family, how it affects your body, right? So there's very educational. It was very important. It was actually very beneficial that I did that. But I had to dedicate 2 hours of my time every week for 9 months. 2 hours for 9 months every Saturday morning from 8 to 10. I was forced to do it. Well, it was mandatory. And so I finished that, and then I was like, man, what could I have been doing for those 2 hours if I wasn't doing this? I could have easily learned how to play a new instrument. I could have gotten better at my trumpet. I could have worked on some new dance moves. You know, I could have worked out for 2 hours, you know? So it's like coming that realization of that, and also the whole social media thing. It's like, there's no excuse. And then also, like, we have our phones, we have a lot of information. And then to go back with your system of how you're doing, how you're teaching, not only you're like allowing us to come in and work out with you, but if we can't, we have you right here in the palm of our hands, where you can tell us, you can coach us, you can tell us, all right, well, this is what you should be doing. This is the workout you should be doing here, this day. So we have you right here. So there's no excuse, really. It's just really us that it's like holding us back. So Chewy, don't procrastinate. Do it. Get it done. You'll feel better afterwards, you know? And like after I finish that hour and a half workout with you guys, like, you know, I'm ready for the day and it feels good. And I realize it. And I'm like, man. And it's also trying to think about that feeling of how you feel so accomplished and you're ready and you have that energy. So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, totally. And that's great advice for you if you were to go back in time and to do so. So inspirational. Good to hear. And good to have you here as part of the Aesthetic Life program and as a team member of ours.
Thanks, man.
So awesome. Well, thanks for answering these questions and keep working hard. You're getting amazing results. Keep it going. It's time to shift it to second gear. Turn it up a level. You already know what it is. You already got your 90-day game plan. It's time to take action and do the work even more. But the good thing is that on top of this, you're going to learn how to eat more and also burn more calories. So you're going to be able to go away to those events like, Chicago, and you're not going to be able to have to worry about all that gaining of the weight, those extra the pounds to add on. You're going to come back to weighing the same because you're learning how to do all this, and that's awesome. So
yeah, thank you, man.
Well, thank you. We'll have a good rest of your night, and have a great night. You're going to be editing still some more, yeah?
Yeah, I'll be here for another 30 minutes. I need to go home and rest.
All righty.
All right, man. Thank you.
Good to have you, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.